Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. I'm in my 2023 Tesla Model Y long range. I want to show you guys a cool feature. Now that it's summertime, it's starting to get hot out. I was talking with a buddy of mine who just bought a Tesla. He hasn't had his Tesla over the summertime. He just got it over the winter. It's now about summertime. And yesterday, or a few days ago, it was about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. He had his car parked for about 4 hours, and he was surprised at how the range had decreased quite a bit. And he hadn't driven that far. And I told him, you know what, most likely you have the cabin overheat protection on and it's been running while you've been parked. This is a cool feature that Tesla offers. So if you go under the controls under safety, scroll down, you can also use this you can access on the app, and you can set it up on the app. I always recommend to turn this feature off. Now, the cabin overheat protection feature is designed to help keep the temperature in the car reasonably lower when it's parked on a hot sunny day. So there's 3 different modes. You can turn it off, which I always recommend and which is what I do. Secondly, no AC mode means it's not going to use the air conditioner. It'll just suck air from the outside and blow it inside to help kind of keep it cooler. Now, it'll probably still get over 100 degrees inside the car if it does that, but you're using power and electricity from the battery to power the fans in the car. So you're going to use some power from the battery. Now, on the on setting, when the cabin overheat protection is on, it uses the air conditioning to keep it below a certain temperature. There's a couple settings here. You can keep it below 90, 95, or 100 degrees. These are all Fahrenheit temperatures. If you want the cabin to stay below that, it will run the fan, the AC unit, to keep it under that. Now, it'll only go for about 12 hours. So after 12 hours of leaving the car, it stops using that. Also, it stops at 20% battery. So if your battery starts getting down below 20%, it won't use the cabin overheat protection. Now, my buddy had this setting on. He had it at 90 degrees and on. And if you have that and it's getting hot out there, your car is just it'll just run the AC nonstop to keep it at 90 degrees the whole time while you're away from the car. All right, when it's off, it's going to help preserve the battery as much as possible. And so that's why I recommend doing off, because if you live in a hot climate and you're away from your car for 5 hours, it's going to, if you have this on and you have it set at like 90 degrees, for example, it's going to, so here it says selecting higher temperature will reduce energy consumption. So obviously you want to do 100 degrees, but having even this setting, and if you're in a hot climate, it's going to run the AC until you get back in the car, or for at least 12 hours straight. So you're going to decrease your battery level. So that's why I recommend off. Let me show you something else to do instead of doing cabin overheat. Here's kind of something that I do. All right, if we go into the Tesla app, you go into the climate. Now what you can do is you can vent the windows. So the car doesn't know when you're coming back to the car. That's what the cabin overheat protection does. It kind of helps keep it a little cooler so when you get back in the car it's not as bad. Well, if you have it off, the interior will get hotter. So you can see how it tells you the temperature of the exterior and interior of the car. Well, what I would do is, 5, 10, 15 minutes before you're getting back to the car, hit the vent windows. All right. So what that did is it just rolled down the windows. And then what I would do is just come back here and hit the on button. So I just turn on my AC like that and lower your AC down. And 10 minutes before you get back to the car, you're venting out the hot air from the windows. You got the AC on. And so that way when you get back to the car, it's now going to be cooler. And it's only going to be cooler now that you're getting back to the car. And it's not going to be kept on all the time when you're away from the car. So I think this is a little more efficient way to use your battery and cool the car down when you're about to go to it. All right, let me show you what happens when we hit vent. So this window dropped. This is the passenger side. Passenger rear dropped. And then the driver's side dropped. No, driver's side rear did not go down, so it drops 3 of the windows down. So this is going to help get the heat out. And then when you turn on your climate control to on, climate control is going to turn on and you start blowing the fan. All right, this seems like it's a new feature because you haven't always been able to close the windows. So let's say you vented it for 10 minutes and you decided you're not coming back to the car for another hour. You can close the windows, and it just closed all the windows back up. All right, so that's a pretty cool feature that you can actually open and close the windows from the app. Previously, you haven't been able to close those, but I like that, especially if it's starting to rain or you're not going to get back to the car soon enough, so you can just open or close the windows there. just right from the app. This is going to be a little more effective, and it's not going to require as much power. So you don't have to use power from the battery to power the AC. You can just vent the windows, and you're going to be able to get a similar effect with cooling the cabin down. So to preserve your battery, to not use as much energy in the summertime, keep cabin overheat protection off. One other feature I want to mention, this you may or may not be aware of, but if you go into climate control, and we go to keep, if you see here, keep says it will keep climate control enabled. After you leave the car, it will turn off when the battery reaches 20%. So this will just keep the AC on. Let's say you're running into the store. It's really hot. You're only going to be gone 5 minutes. You want to keep the AC in your car on. Hit keep. That will keep the AC on, and you don't have to worry about the car, being really hot when you come back. So that's kind of a cool feature. Dog mode. Now, dog mode's pretty cool, especially if you're going to be leaving kids or pets inside your car. The climate control enabled, so that way that's still going to be nice, cool, and comfortable when you leave. When you leave the car and you shut the door, this is what shows up on the screen. It says, "My driver will be back soon. Don't worry, the AC's on at 67 degrees." So it's pretty cool that you can just leave your pet in here and the car's going to be nice and comfortable, and you don't have to worry about your pets getting hot. And then when you get back in the car, you can see dog mode still enabled. You can just turn that off right on the climate control screen. Guys, these are some cool features that Tesla offers. Really, only electric car can really offer this kind of functionality, the usage of the climate control without an engine on. It's really awesome that you can do that. I really love this. The dog mode is really cool. The keep feature is also awesome because, you can just keep the AC on. The car's not on. It's not unlocked. It's just, going to be nice and cool when you get back. But if you're experiencing lower range than you normally would be previously, and you've been parking your car outside on a hot day, it's probably because your cabin overheat protection is on, or it's set to a lower temperature. So I would say at least to 100 degrees. I always leave it off because I feel like it's just draining the battery unnecessarily. And I can vent the windows, and I can turn the AC on when I'm walking to the car anyways, and that kind of does the same thing. So guys, hopefully this was helpful information. Leave your comments. If you have any other summertime tips in the comments down below, be sure to leave those. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.